Okay, in this lesson, we are going to multiply fractions using area models or multiplication models. These are going to look a little bit like arrays. You've probably heard that term for what we're about to draw. So we're going to take a look at the first fraction. We know that that in a fraction, the denominator represents the parts to the whole, and the numerator is how many parts of that we have. So we're going to start by drawing this visual model, and you won't have to do this in as many steps once we get used to it. So we're going to draw this first model, which represents 1 out of 2. Now let's take a look at the second fraction. That is asking us to model 1 out of 4. So now we need 4 parts. I'm going to start by breaking it this way. Now we need 4 parts, and we're going to shade 1 out of 4, and it doesn't really matter which one we decide to shade. Okay, so when multiplying fractions, these models kind of lay over each other. So to solve this using a model, we're going to combine these two models. So to do that, we're going to draw, make sure I have my right here. We're going to draw one larger model representing both of those images. So if we look at the first one, we have this picture of 1 out of 2. So I'm going to go ahead and represent that. So it looks just like this one. Now, if we lay this one on top of this model, so it would be like laying this, just moving it over right on top of this, we see we had 2 columns and 4 rows. So I'm going to draw this. It's going to look a lot like an array. Here we go. And just like at the top, we have 2 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So now I'm going to do the shading. I'm going to bring this shading down. So I'm going to shade 1 column. And I'm going to switch colors just so that you can see this. I'm going to switch to this turquoise color. And now I need to shade 1 row. 1 whole row. Now I'm going to switch colors one more time. The answer or the product to a multiplication problem using this model is represented where the color overlaps or where it's shaded 2 times. So if I look, there's shading in all of these, all of this column and shading in all of this row, but it only overlaps in this, this space. So remember, fractions are the parts to the whole. So this fraction has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts to the whole. And 1 out of those 8 has overlapping shading. So the product to that, to 1/2 times 1/4 is 1/8.